Dr. Abram Hoffer took large doses of niacin for 57 years and lived to be 92 years old. He took the niacin from 1952 till May of 2009 when he died. And I'm going to play an audio clip of him talking about this in 2005. In the audio clip, he also talks about a woman in Canada who was 111 years old, still alive, obviously, and who had been taking niacin for 41 years. He also notes that 2 years prior to that, so when she was 109, she was cross-country skiing, and she attributed her longevity to niacin. Linus Pauling, who was a Nobel Prize winning chemist, and he also befriended Abram Hoffer, and he was the one who started orthomolecular medicine, started out as orthomolecular psychiatry, that is using substances which are naturally present in the body to treat and cure disease, which would include vitamins, minerals, amino acids, fatty acids. But he also took large doses of niacin as well as large doses of vitamin C and other things and lived to be 93 years old. Hi, this is Larry Hobbs at fatnews.com. A little more about Dr. Hoffer. He is the person who discovered that niacin raises HDL levels. He also noted, and I will find the audio clips where he talks about this, but niacin is not just a cholesterol-lowering agent, but rather it normalizes cholesterol levels. That is, niacin lowers cholesterol when it is high and raises cholesterol when it is low. To me, this is really important because, for example, with the statins, the cholesterol drugs known as statins like Lipitor, yes, they lower LDL cholesterol, but they do this by interfering with natural processes in the body. All they do is lower it. To me, it's the same thing with the blood pressure medicines. They interfere with natural processes in the body. That's why there are all kinds of problems with these drugs. But niacin does not do this. It normalizes cholesterol levels. So it's basically making the body more efficient and to allow it to do exactly what it wants to do. Dr. Hoffer is also the one who discovered that niacin, along with other nutrients and other changes, can cure schizophrenia in many cases. And I've already posted one video on this. I will post some more. But this is stuff that I think the overwhelming majority of the population and the overwhelming majority of psychiatrists and doctors are simply not aware of. He discovered this more than 50 years ago. I just became aware of it a couple years ago. So, fascinating stuff. And a little more about Linus Pauling. He is the only person, he was a Nobel Prize winning chemist, and he's the only person to win 2 Nobel Prizes by himself. So in other words, he is a brilliant guy. If you ever look up his stuff on vitamin C, you would be stunned on how deeply he went into the chemistry of this. One other thing which I will look up and post is that he made a prediction, and Dr. Hoffer talked about this, quoting him, but he said that he believed that psychiatry, the drug companies, would attempt to monopolize psychiatry, but ultimately it would fail and it would result in great economic upheaval. And so I will find that clip where Dr. Hoffer is quoting Linus Pauling about this. Just fascinating stuff to think about. And I posted other videos from Joan Matthews Larson talking about that the American Psychiatric Association really is owned by the drug companies. There used to be a couple dozen psychiatric conditions, and then they increased it. There are now a couple hundred, simply so the drug companies can sell more drugs. So I will find this quote and post this as well. So here is the audio clip of Dr. Hoffer talking about himself taking niacin for 50 years, and then the 111-year-old woman taking it for 41 years.
I like niacin. I am a niacin junkie. I've been taking niacin for 50 years. I think that I have the world's record as the only human being who has taken niacin steadily for the past 50 years. I started in 52 as a long-range experiment. I said to myself, what will happen? How long will I live if I take niacin? I haven't got the answer yet, but I think I'm getting closer. And also, I have in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, the second oldest Canadian. She is 111 years old. Until 2 years ago, she was doing cross-country skiing. She'd been taking niacin for 41 years. Now, this doesn't prove that this will make you all live 111 years old. You understand, if you talk to an octogenarian or one of these old people, ask him, why are you so old? He said, well, I'm smoking a lot, or I didn't smoke, I drank, or I didn't drink. Everyone has their own answer as to why you live a long time. And her answer is it's the niacin. So niacin is great.
So I ask, which would you rather take? A statin like Lipitor? And let me remind you the data on statins. I posted videos on these, and a lot of it comes from a 2008 cover story from Business Week. But statins have never been shown to benefit people over the age of 65. Statins have never been shown to benefit women of any age. Statins have never been shown to benefit people without cardiovascular disease. Even in people who've had a heart attack, statins will lower the risk of a second heart attack somewhat, but they do not lower the risk of hospitalizations, and they do not lower the risk of death. Professor Joel Kaufman, I also posted videos on this, but Professor Joel Kaufman also noted in a letter to the Wall Street Journal, I believe it's from 2003, where he said that when they looked at data over a 10-year period of time from all the large trials, they found that people who were given a statin were actually more likely to die than people that were given a placebo. That's correct. They were 1% more likely to die. So it did absolutely no good whatsoever. It's because these drugs interfere with natural processes in the body as opposed to things like niacin and fiber and all these other natural treatments which work with the body. So again, I ask, which would you rather take, a statin like Lipitor or niacin? Now, to me, it's exactly like the movie When Harry Met Sally, if you have seen that. And they are in a restaurant, and Sally fakes an orgasm for Billy Crystal. And so then Rob Reiner's mother, Rob Reiner was the director, but his mother was in there, and the waiter asked Rob Reiner's mother, well, what would you like? And she said, I'll have what she's having. So to me, it's exactly the same way. I'll take what Dr. Hoffer was taking. I will take what Linus Pauling was taking. I will take what the 111-year-old woman was taking. Forget the statin.